Hi everyone. So let's go for another next session of what's gonna happen today. So today we will be let's start with this one. So yesterday or day before yesterday we looked into the JavaScript fundamentals and we discussed about the basics of JavaScript, how we structure our code, and the modern mode, like using the use script. There are like different types of variables we saw. Then we looked into the data types, and then we stopped there. Right? Today we will be looking at how type conversions happen in JavaScript. There are something called as implicit type conversions, and those things we will be looking at. Then we will try looking into what are all operators that we have, what are all the types of operators. There are two types of operators: unary operators and binary operators. And I don't know where exactly ternary operators come here in this case, but we will be looking into ternary operators as well. And apart from that, going forward we will look into how to compare two values. Then we will go with logical operators. Then finally we will finish off with loops and functions. So this is the ultimate plan that we have got right now. But at the same time, if this is completed, it's gonna be the end of JavaScript journey in this part. So we will try our level best to like complete the JavaScript by today, and then from next session onwards we will be looking into React.js. So this is the complete idea about it. All right, so let's quickly get on to it, and everything is going to be directly like, you know let's completely like look into a practical approach right now. All right, so let me share my screen. And unfortunately, even now, there are only a very less number of participants. We should have waited for some more time for everyone to arrive, but it's all right. So let's, quoting the time, let's go with this one. All right. So you should be, I guess everyone should be remembering that we were working on this one. And uh, sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, so let's start with this one. So what I told today is we will be working on type conversions. So there is something called as implicit type conversions in JavaScript, and that is actually a lot helpful in that case. So we will try to use how type conversions work now, and we'll go by a demo basis. All right. So for going with type conversions, um, let's try to do something nice. Let me get rid of everything here, and I'll just do an npm start. It's gonna go for a complete error, I believe, because there is literally nothing in this and I saved it. So if I do an npm start, it is gonna do a clean exit without anything. So that's what you can see here. It's a clean exit right now. All right. So type conversions. So what are type conversions really? So type conversions means like you have different types which we saw, right? So there are string types, there are boolean types, there are numerical types, and other things. We will be implicitly, that is not explicitly, we are not telling this is going to be a number, this is not going to be a, this is going to be a string, or it's a boolean. So without specifying those things, we will automatically convert everything into the correct type, or maybe the target resultant type. That's exactly a type conversion right now. So let's have a look at how type conversions happen here. So now uh, we can, okay, let me actually open the chat as well as the participants as well. So in case if you are having any questions, please use the Zoom chat. Thank you. And let's go for this. So right now we will have a const variable like const hello, which is going to be a hello. And then let's say const age is going to be 27, which is a number. And const live, we can put it as true, which is again, it's a boolean. Now we can clearly see that the type of um, let's do a console.log here in this case. So type of hello, or else I'll just do three things and then quickly do this way. So if you see this, you can clearly see that it's going to be a string, number, and boolean. This is what we expected, right? Which is perfectly fine. But the next thing which we need to do is, what if we combine these two things? Let's say one more thing, const num or maybe year equal to 2000. And then if I try to do const year age equal to age plus year. Okay. And let's see what exactly happens now if we see the type of this particular variable. So if we save this, you could see that again the year plus age is gonna be a number because we are adding two numbers in this case. So one thing which we need to talk about this is the plus is a concatenation operator here, and this plus will help you. It's not only a concatenation operator, it's also an additional operator. So this most of the people who have worked with Java might have heard of a concept called operator overloading. How many of you have heard of it? Please leave it in the comments. So operator overloading is one of the custom properties of a, what do you call this, a, an object oriented programming. Since JavaScript is not an object oriented programming really, it does have classes, objects, and object oriented JavaScript is also there, but it's actually just like a myth. JavaScript is definitely not an object oriented one, and then we will be using kind of like a functional it's all functional. That's the funny part in this case. So that's one thing. And the next thing which we are going to work on is, let me quickly get this done. Yeah, so we will try to combine two or three different types now. Okay, so let's say if I do const age live is gonna be age plus live, and let's see the type of this one. So age live is gonna be like this, and it's gonna say number. Now it comes the now comes the funny part. So how can we have something like a number and the boolean added to a number? Okay, fine. So you say it is a number, like, okay, then what exactly is the value of the number? It's gonna say 28. So what exactly happened here? Implicitly, JavaScript tried to convert or converted a boolean value of live into a number, and then it has added to the age. So what is the value of the number here in this case? It's 1. Okay, so what exactly happened here is, if you try to do something like this, let's try to take this part. Okay, so I'm gonna add this one along with another live. All right, so if you see this, it's gonna add 9. It shows me 29 here. Let me actually zoom in for your for a clarity. All right, so now I hope it's a bit better. Okay, so here if I try to do age plus live, age value is 27, live is true. So it is similar to something like this. So true plus 5 plus true. So that's what exactly happened, and you get a value called 7, which is technically the numerical value of true is going to be 1. This is something what JavaScript always does, and it's a implicit type conversion. Okay, so for number, if this is converted into true, then what's happening for a false? Let's try that. So it's not, it's giving the value of 0 as the false. All right, so now what we can do is, let's try to combine two more things, which is hello and age. So if we try to do that, let's see what's going to happen. Let's do a type of hello plus age, and then it's going to give me, okay, so this is another thing which I will come to it later. So okay, right now you can see that it's going to give me a string as the type, but what happens here is, if I try to just use this, it's going to give me hello 27 as the answer. So here the plus operator is not actually an addition operator. It's going to become a concatenation operator. A string called hello is getting concatenated with a number called 27, and since numbers cannot be concatenated, it gets converted into a string value. The value of a string of a number will be the same thing in double quotes. That's what is going to happen. So that's what we are currently doing here, and we are able to like convert from one value to another without any implicit or like without any explicit way. Like I'm not telling JavaScript like, so age is in number value, it's a numerical value, can you convert it into string and then use it? Like I'm not doing that, but JavaScript automatically does that for us. So this is one good way of it can be used as either good way as well as a bad way. That's what I was trying to say in the previous way. So that's the concatenation operator, and these are the type conversions that happen automatically. So let's have a quick look at what are all the operators are there. So we have three terms in here. All right. So one is the unary operator, one is the binary operator, and the other one, not exactly ternary operator, I'll come to ternary operator later, and the other one is the operand. So operand is the one which is actually getting operated on. For example, and also one more thing you need to know, this particular plus is a completely an awesome operator, because number one, it is going to do an operator overloading. So whether you put it using a number and a string, it's going to work. A number plus a number, it's going to work. A string plus string, it's going to work. And literally with everything, it's going to work. Like whatever the um, even if it is like an object, let me show you how an object works in this case. So if I do like this and give an object with hello world, so it's gonna again tries to convert that object into a string, and then it's gonna do that for us. So there are like loads and loads of things that can be done using using the plus operator. So plus operator has a lot of roles to play. So that's what I meant. Now let's see what exactly. Um, so we saw how operator works, and we will be looking at how unary operators work. So these are all binary operators, because you have whatever we saw here. Like let's also do age live as minus as well. So if you see here, it's gonna show us not the type of, but the age live itself. Age minus live should actually give me 26 or something. Yes, so 26 is here. So we have tried with all these operators. These operators will require an operand on the left side and an operand on the right side, and then they do the operation, right? So whether it is addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication, or power, or what else we have, modulus operator, those kind of operators are there. So we can let's have a quick look of all the operators that we have. So the first thing is a concatenation operator. So for concatenation operator, it's gonna use two different strings or two different types of variable, and it's gonna without changing anything, it's gonna change. It's gonna add us like concatenate two strings. So that's the main reason for why concatenation operator is being used here. And the next one is going to be uh, mathematical operators. So math operators, you have a lot of operators. So starting with addition, division, subtraction, and multiplication, we do have a few more operators, and there are a few operators that I'm gonna try it out here. I'm not sure whether it's gonna work out, but let's try it out. All right. So let me create a lot of console.logs here. So you know that 5 plus 5, it's an addition operator. So let's skip out all these normal operators. Let's go with those operators that we have no clue about, or maybe with just new operators. So the first operator is going to be a power operator. So this is an operator that is used in ES7, which can give you the power of this number. I'm still not sure whether this is going to work, but let me try. Then the next operator which we are going to look at is a unary operator, which is going to use a number as a string. So let's say if I have a 55B or something like this, or 55A or something like that, let's see how this gets converted into a number. Then the other operator that we are going to see is a modulus operator. Let's say we have a big number like 17, and what is the remainder of the 17 when it is divided by, let's say, 7? So it should be giving us like 3 or something. So that is a modulus operator. And finally, we will go with another operator. So I've discussed all these things. Then there is something called as bitwise operator. I'm not sure how this works, but I'm going to try it out lively. So if I try to do 5 ampersand 2, just look at it, there is only 1 ampersand here. Okay, so I'm not sure whether this is going to work actually, but let's give it a try. So if I save this, so the first thing which I could see is it's going to do like a hello plus 21 or 27, which is hello 27, which is completely understood by everyone. So it's just a concatenation operator. And the next thing which we are going to do is the plus operator, which is which is the power operator, which has got like a multiplication of like 5 power 2, which is 25, which we have got it as well. I haven't seen anything like a square root operator, but we will be using something called as math.sqrt, which is very much helpful in that case. And in case of cube roots and other things, I'm not sure. So this one hasn't worked out really well. But if we try to use like 55 inside just the square, that worked. And there is also one more thing. If you have something like 55a, we can also do parse int. So it is gonna, this is actually different from what exactly which we did in the previous step. Parse int is going to, it's not exactly an operator, but it's a function. It's going to take it as a string, and then it tries to convert it. It is going to try to convert the whole thing into a number. But this one, it's just going to get the numerical value out of it. So there is a difference between parse int and using this unary operator. So we will try using what happens in parse int. So if you see this 55a is correctly parsed as 55 in this case, and this one as a string, a number as a string is getting passed correctly as 55 as well. It's a number here. So if you see that this is like kind of a green color or a yellow or orange. I'm sorry, I'm colorblind. So if this color is completely different from this color, so generally the strings are uh, white in color in case of like our because this won't be able to show you different things, right? So it will be showing you strings in a different color, numbers in a different color, true or false in a different color. So let's see how true or false actually works. So true or false is also coming as like, so I believe whatever is shown in white color, it is supposed to be put on quotes. So that's what I mean here. So we've got something like this, and right now we've got what do you call this? So uh, the parse int actually is a better alternative for using converting a string into a integer. That's what I would say, and that's kind of the conclusion of what we were looking at. And the next one is we are looking at an modulus operator. For modulus operator, what it does is 7 goes inside 17 maximum of 2 times. After that, it has a it's gonna be like 14 7 once, then 7 second time, and then only 3 is left. So this 3 is the remainder of a division operation, and we get the division operations output using using this. So this is something which is also a lot of times asked in the interviews. So so that could be also a kind of a, sorry, just a second. So that is also a reason here, like that could also be a use case here. And there are like other sorry. All right, so there is also this one here, which there is a use case here which most of the interviews will be asked here. So what people they do is, let's go with this one. Write a code that gives you a fizz buzz. So fizz buzz is one of the common interview questions that's asked, and what they ask you is you write 1 till n, and then every 3 should be fizz, every 5, sorry, every number divisible by 3 should be fizz, and every number divisible by 5 should be buzz, and the same thing, every number divisible by 5, 3 and 5 should be fizzbuzz. So this is one of the common questions that is asked in an interview, and we will be definitely, we will try to like definitely solve this one today, how we can kind of like get this whole thing working, because this, for solving this particular question we would require three things. Number one, the knowledge of math. Number two, how JavaScript works. Number three, um, loops. And number four, conditionals. These are the four things that are required for solving this one. So going forward, we have seen up to the operators right now, and actually let me just leave this here. Okay, so we have seen two different operators, right? Unary and binary operator. And we also tried using string concatenation using a binary operator plus, and we also used a numeric conversion using, okay, let's try to use the numeric conversion as a unary operator here. So that is a good way of like, creating this one. So let's do a CLG. The first thing which we did is using a binary operator, unary operator here, we tried to convert a string value of 55 into a number value. And then we also tried, um, let's try to do this for everything. Hello. And then let's try to do it for true and false as well. And then finally, we will also try to do it for an array. This is an array data type, and this is an object data type, right? So let's see what exactly is happening here. So the first thing is, when you try to convert a number in string, it gets automatically, if it is a perfect number, it gets automatically converted into a number, which is perfect. If it is not a number, it's going to say something called as not a number, NaN. NaN is called not a number, and it is really um, okay. Coming about the data types, again, there is one more data types which is called as a not a number. Not a number is actually the, okay, this is one of the quirks of JavaScript. I really need to show you what exactly this one is. So let's say everything is clear, right? Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. Type of NaN. NaN, you can see that it's a keyword or something like that. So everyone can clearly see that not a number is actually a number. And the other funny part is, not a number cannot be equated to anything. So it says if I try to do NaN equal to NaN, or even if I do like the normal thing, it's gonna give me false. And this is the same thing with um, null as well. So if null is null, okay, this is interesting. Okay, these are some common questions that's been asked in the interviews. Maybe it's gonna be undefined, I guess. So yeah, even here it shows me true. I guess I'm the one which I'm using, the Node.js version which I'm using is actually a latest version, but I believe something here is actually wrong. So if I do a null equal to null or something like that, it's gonna give me a false action. So I'm gonna try this quickly using a browser at the moment, and let me have a look at it. What's gonna happen? I know that I'm not sharing the screen here in case of a browser because it is in my other computer. Okay, for some reason it is showing the same answer. Okay, it looks like the latest version of V8 JavaScript engine has been upgraded, and even that's available even in uh, what do you call this, Chrome browser. So it looks perfectly the I mean, it is in par with the same thing in the Node.js as well. So in older browsers, I guess something is not possible in here. So this is the funny part. This is one of the quirks of JavaScript, where even if it is not a number, the type of it is a number, which is kind of weird. So you this is to check whether this particular thing is a number or a not a number. What we can do is we can try to use something called as isnan. So there is another thing which you can try, is not a number, and then you can either give number and it's going to say false, and if you do a hello, and then it's going to give you a true value. And what if I give a 55a, it's actually giving you a true value, because it's going to work on top of um, Parse Int, not exactly on a plus Unary operator. So this is something which is completely about the type conversions, and how implicitly JavaScript converts its types to a different type or something like that. So that's one thing. And the other thing we will be looking at here is how each of these things get um, displayed. So right now we are getting, we know these two things, but if you see true and false, it's going to give us 1 and 0. For array, it's going to give, for an empty array, it's going to give us 0. And for an array with something, it's going to give us nan, which is interesting again. And then maybe if we give 55 comma 25, again it's an nan. And for an object, empty object, if you use an unary operator as plus, it's going to give us a nan again. It's a not a number. So ultimately these are the different quirks and what do you say this there are some quirks that are available in JavaScript, which we can either use it for our benefit or we can misuse it and try to do it in such a way. And sometimes these quirks will also break our application as well. So we should be very careful and know, we should be knowing about that. Okay, now any questions with the data types and stuff? All right, so let's go with the next one here. So we will be looking into what exactly is an operator precedence now. So this is one of the main things that um, we have a lot of questions around this, even in the interviews. So how operator precedence works here? Let's say we have console.log here, and we will be using something like 5 plus 5 star 3 divided by 5 plus 1, or maybe minus 1. So can everyone comment it out what would be the answer for this, please? I'll give you like maximum 1 or 2 minutes, and then comment out what would be the answer for this and what you are looking for. Okay, looks like only 3 people have responded, and it is 7. Anyone else? Yeah, that's true. Bod mass rule. But there are some people who will respond otherwise. Okay, it looks like the audience that I have is a perfect audience. So yes, the answer is 7. And the next thing is okay, let's go ahead with next one. So when you try to save it as well, it's gonna Visual Studio Code is gonna give us a good way of like explaining what exactly will happen as well. So if I don't have these things, it's gonna automatically include those brackets and other things in this. So that's actually a good thing about VS Code. All right, so the next thing which we need to look at it is we will be looking at the assignment operators. So we already tried using these things, right? Like you will be able to use operator precedence for using something like this. But there is also another thing which we can use in JavaScript along with the operators. Like for example, if you want to kind of like okay, let me take this particular example which I already have. All right. So we have A as 1, B as 2. Then we are giving C equal to 3 minus A equal to B plus 1, something like this. All right. So let's do one thing. Let's give a quick log of A comma B. All right. So what's answer in A comma B, and then here we'll give A comma B comma C. So can someone say what would be the answer for A comma B comma C? It's a quick check for you all. Another quick uh, quiz. Okay, we have got a lot of different answers coming in because even I don't know what exactly the answer could be. I haven't tried it out. I would say, or I would suggest that A and B should be 1 and 2 in the first set. In the second set, what's gonna happen is A gets assigned to a value that gets returned. So I would go with 320 with a lot of with most of the people have said. So I'm just gonna try that. So that's right. A lot of people have given correct. So 320 is the right answer, and it is because what happens is this is a kind of like an assignment here. So this is an assignment operator along with a conditional, like not exactly conditional, along with an expression. So what happens here is this not only just assigns the value for C, but it also assigns the value for A. And in this whole part, there is an A assignment is happening. So A's value is being assigned by B plus 1. And then this value is going to get returned here. Let's come to another crazy question of a interview question. Okay, before that we need to look at another two unary operators here. So let's have I hope most of them have heard of this um, plus plus and minus minus operators. They are called increment and decrement operators. Okay, so let me go with let A is equal to 1 and let B is equal to 2. So if we try to do something like a log of A, it's going to give us the same 1 as the answer, right? So yeah, that's what is giving here. But if we try to do A plus plus, what's going to be the answer? Can Someone guess? Okay, we've got multiple answers with 2, and there are a few people also changing their answers. All right, fine. Now let's see what is the answer. It's going to be 1, I guess. There you go. It's actually 1. But at the same time, when you try to do this one again to see the value of it, it's going to show it as 2. The reason being, it is a post increment operator, and post increment operators will first return the current value. So how this works is, take the current value and store it somewhere, increment it, original value, oops, return the current value. This is how it's gonna work here. So that's the reason you got something like the first one giving you a as 1, and the second one giving the same thing as 2. So now let's try this one. What will happen here? This is called as a pre-increment operator. Now please everyone say the correct answer. And yes, that's actually a right guess, because it's going to be 2 here, because what it does is it first increments it and then sends it. Okay, now let's do something funny. Okay, so what will be the answer of, even I have no clue. Do you want to find it out, please? And this, guys, this is an interview question. Wow, a lot of people are saying 3. I kind of am not sure. Sorry guys, even I'm not sure, but there are like loads of people who are saying 3. Let's see the answer. The answer is 4. Whoever were telling like it could be maybe or may not be, they got the answer. So the answer is 4 here. So let's actually see what exactly happens here. Okay, at this point, what happens is we can actually put this whole thing into split up way. Okay, so let's do a is equal to a plus 1, and for now at this point is okay, it's a bit confusion here. So a plus 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 a is the thing. Okay, so right now first let's get the value of a here. It's going to be 1. Okay, and right now the value of a is added actually, right? So it's actually 2. Now the plus operator stays the same thing. So plus plus a. So plus plus a, which is a pre-increment operator. And if we try to add that, it's already 2, and it's going to become 3, and then it's going to go out. So that's the reason we are getting 4 as the answer. So and if they used to say, when you do like let's say for example a plus b or b plus a, the answer is going to be the same, right? Sorry about this. So if you try doing this, it's going to show the same number as the answer, right? So the reason being this is plus operator and multiplication operator are kind of, they have a unique name. However the operand order is, you don't get any problems. But whereas in case of division and subtraction, it's going to screw up everything. Or anything else, any other operators, if you try to swap the operands, it's going to be crazy. So but what happens if you swap the operators here? Like, I'm still not sure what's going to happen here. So let's see what will happen here in that case. So I'm going to change this into plus plus a, and then I'm going to change this into a plus plus. And I believe there should be different answer for this. Any guesses, please, in the meantime? We've got answers like 3 and 4. I'm again in two minds. It could be other numbers or something, could be something lesser is what I, or could be 3, or could be 4 or 3. Okay, I give up. I'm not sure. I feel it could be 3 or it could be 4. It could be 4 really. Okay, so the answer is fine. So we've got it. It's actually 4 again. So in this case, it is definitely the same. So whatever, if even if you put that or this, it's going to be the same. So let's actually try it out with this. So we do this, or we do something like this. And yeah, they both are same. And I was about to do something crazy as well. So what if we give another one? So something like this. This is going to be the same. But what if I change this one like this? So just these two things, right? All right, it is actually same. I'm I'm actually surprised by how this works actually. So let's try to put maybe it is because of I really don't get it. Fine. It seems like magic. That's it. That's what I would say. All right, guys. Those are like unary operators, and these are a few operators that we do, and we also looked at remainder operator and exponentiation operator. Then we also looked into increment or decrement operator. Then we do have this bitwise operator. That is what I said, right? So I'm actually not sure how. And one thing we need to talk about when we talk about the increment and decrement operator. Right now, if you try to do let a is equal to 1, and we do like a plus plus like couple of times, 3 times, and then let's try using a, it's going to give us 4. What if I want to do these things? I know that I have to do it 3 times, but what if I need to do it in a one single statement? Even that is possible. You can do a repeated thing operator or something like that. So you could do something like, so every time when you do the plus plus, it's gonna do only like +1, right? So plus equal to a number, it's gonna give us the correct way. So if you do twice or thrice, it's gonna do the thing like whatever you want, how many numbers you want to do, it's gonna do that. This is very helpful in case of loops, and if you want to increment twice or thrice or something like that. So any questions with the operators? So these are the different operators we have seen, and we do have the bitwise operators, and bitwise operators are can be quite tricky at times, so I might not actually go for it at this point. So any questions on operators? Okay, I feel like there are no questions right now, and we can continue with what do you call this? Let's go with the comparison operators now. So until now we have seen the mathematical operators. The next thing will be the logical operators. Logical operators, as you can see, it checks for a logic. A logic is something that the outcome of a logic is going to be either true or false. That is the main thing about an operator, like about the comparator operator or logical operator. So the common operators include an equivalence operator. Wait a minute. So we've got a comparison operator, including a equivalence operator, strict equivalence operator. We have less than operator, less than or equal to operator, greater than operator, greater than or equal to operator, and not equal to operator, not strictly equal to operator. And there is also another thing. We totally forgot about this unary operator, which is the not operator. So if we use a not operator in front of anything, it's going to give you the opposite version of it. So we can also try using another way, like it's going to give us true. And if we try to use not 1, it's going to give us false, and not 0, it's going to give us true as well. So these are different ways of, like, using type conversions again. So these are a different operators that we have got for comparing things. So with these comparisons, you can compare only the primitive values. So primitive values include only these three things. Number one, it's going to be strings. Number two, it's going to be numbers. Number three, it's going to be Boolean values. Only these three values can be compared using all these operators. So commonly we will be using if and else statements. So we can do something like if let's say 5 greater than 10, we can do like, so this doesn't make any sense. So let's do one thing. Let's give like, let a equal to 5, let b equal to 10, and then inside this, if a is greater than b, then we can actually give like using a console.log. So this is one way of doing it. And at the same time, like we can also do an else if condition to check if this is either greater or equal to, because there could be two outcomes here. Okay, so for now I'm gonna do something like a lesser than operator. So let's do that. So definitely if these two things not work, it's gonna be is equal to, that's gonna be the same as the other one. So now let's see what exactly happens. So it's gonna give you 5 less than 10, or maybe if it's gonna be 15, it's gonna be 15 greater than 10, or so this is all good. But at the same time, if I should do something very simpler, what I can do here is only these three things are actually changing, right? So I'm just going to take only one part and get rid of everything. And I'm going to use a ternary operator here. So now what's going to happen is if A is greater than B, there is a then here. Then I'm going to give greater than, else it could also mean that it might be a smaller one. So A is less than B, then lesser than, then we can give equal to. So if I save this one, it's going to give the same answers. And this is very much helpful in terms of optimization, or at least code clarity and something like that. So these are a few things that we are kind of like looking on. And the other thing which we can look into is, so any questions on the ternary operator? Ternary operator is sometimes very crazy. Like the moment I saved it, it kind of like removed all these brackets, and it showed me like this. So tell me, what do you think about this? Any questions so far? We can have like the last 5 minutes for some kind of a discussion, and then tomorrow we can go with the loops. What do you think? Okay, one question I want to ask everyone: who felt that there is something new that they learned today? How many of you felt that there are new things that we learned today? Okay, nice. I know that is false. Okay, so at least I could see at least a couple of people who are saying that they learned something new. So that's interesting to hear. And any other questions, like other than this, if you have any questions to ask or something like that? we can take up some questions now. No questions? Okay. Okay. Use of triple equal to. That's a good thing that you brought up. So you have these two things. Let's say we have let a equal to 5 and let b equal to 5 inside this one. Okay. And then we have let c equal to true and let d equal to 1. And now what we can do is if we do a equal to b using an equivalence, it's going to show me, first thing it's going to show me a true, and second one it's going to show me a false. So triple equal to will also check not only the value but also the type. B is actually string, but a is actually just a integer. So integer versus string, even though both have the same values, it is not true. It is not same because it is also checking the types where one's type is integer and the other one's type is a string. So that's the one reason. And another thing which we can do is similar to this is this one. So instead of a, we can do C, and then we can do D here, and it's going to do again true and false here. So the reason being, when you do a double equal to, it implicitly type converts the 1 to Boolean value or the true to a integer value, and then it tries to check it out. So this is what is going to happen here. Any other questions? Thanks, Amresh, for asking this question. All right, guys. So hope everyone is clear with whatever has been discussed today, and hope it was useful. We did discuss about a lot of different type handlings and how we can use JavaScript in a better way and stuff like that, like with whatever is there, like for example, power and the power operator. Then we saw the remainder operator, those kind of things. Definitely tomorrow we will be looking through the loops, and once the loops are done, we will directly work on the interview question. Okay, and we did also see a lot of interview questions today, so that was actually a good thing. And anything else, please message on the group. So have a nice day, stay safe, and see you all. Bye bye.